So, good afternoon, students. See, in this last two lectures, as we have started some P-block elements, okay. See, in the previous class, I have covered regarding physical properties of 15 group elements, right, and even chemical properties of the 15 group elements, where we have discussed regarding oxidation state exhibited by 15 group elements, right, then reactivity with the hydrogen, reactivity with the oxygen, reactivity with the halogens, and reactivity with the metals. Then lastly, just I covered what? That is anomalous properties of nitrogen. That means how nitrogen differs from the rest of the 15 group elements, that is from phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth, right? And also I given you reason for anomalous property. And I told yesterday it's a compulsory question in theory. It asks you reasons for 2 marks and properties for 3 marks, right? See, nitrogen differs from rest of the elements and is mainly due to small atomic size, high electronegativity, high ionization enthalpy and absence of d orbitals, right? And I told you properties, nitrogen is a gas whereas others are solids. Nitrogen is a diatomic whereas others are, other elements are tetraatomic solids. Nitrogen is least reactive because of high bond energy whereas other elements are more reactive as bond dissociation energy decreases, right? Nitrogen can form P5 orbital overlap, whereas other elements can form P5 D5 orbital overlap. Why? Because of absence of d orbitals in nitrogen, but in other elements d orbitals are present. And nitrogen cannot form pentahalides, but other elements can form pentahalides. Why nitrogen cannot form pentahalides? Because of absence of d orbitals. Okay. And nitrogen can form multiple bond, but other elements can form only single bond. Nitrogen covalence is maximum 4. It cannot extend more than 4. Why? Once again due to absence of d orbitals. But other elements can extend their covalency to 5 or 6. Okay, right. This was yesterday, just I covered. Now in continuation, as I told yesterday itself. So students, today we will complete compounds of these 15 group elements. See, for your syllabus, according to your NCERT syllabus, you are given dinitrogen, that is N2 itself, nitrogen gas, diatomic gas, that is dinitrogen. Then ammonia, okay, ammonia, that means you have to study regarding preparation and properties of dinitrogen. Then ammonia, okay, then oxides of nitrogen we will try to cover in the today's lecture. Okay, right. Now, not must wasting the time, I will start with the what? That is dinitrogen, one of the compounds of 15 group element. Dinitrogen, that is N2. Okay, diatomic it is, that's why it is called nitrogen gas or dinitrogen. So mainly you know that this dinitrogen is available in the atmosphere 78% by value. 78% by value. Okay. Especially the main source of this nitrogen is what? Atmospheric air. Atmospheric air. So how it is extracted from? Extracted from the atmosphere just by fractional distillation. First compressing followed by fractional distillation. Okay. That means this nitrogen, that means air is compressed to certain temperature, then it is subjected to fractional distillation. Mainly you know that, okay, nitrogen contains mainly oxygen. They are separated by fractional distillation. Means after compressing air to certain pressure, okay, by compressing to certain pressure, low pressure, it will get converted into vapor form, and that is undergo fractional distillation. Okay, upon fractional distillation, remember, upon fractional distillation, 2 distillates come. First at 77.2 Kelvin. Okay, this distillate contains what? Nitrogen. First it separates out at 77.2 Kelvin, and oxygen will be remaining in the distillation flask. Remember, distillation flask means first low boiling point liquids comes out according to the principle of fractional distillation, and high boiling point remains in the what? That is standard flask, standard distillation flask, right? Even at certain 143.2 Kelvin, this oxygen also will comes out. Okay, right. This is how main source. Generally, we can extract nitrogen from where? Atmospheric air. First, cooling it, freezing, compressing, cooling, and then followed by fractional distillation. Remember, nitrogen suppressed at about 77.2 Kelvin. Okay, right. Now, after this, let us go for preparation. Preparation of nitrogen. Laboratory method of preparation. Lab preparation. Laboratory method of preparation. Lab method of preparation of dinitrogen, that is N2. How it is prepared in the laboratory? Very simple. So it is prepared in the laboratory by taking ammonium chloride, okay, ammonium chloride salt, and treating it with a sodium nitrite solution. Aqueous sodium nitrite solution. Aqueous sodium nitrite solution. Okay. So what you'll get? You'll get maybe nitrogen or target plus along with sodium chloride NaCl. Okay. And then we will get a H2O. That is water as a byproduct. That means in the laboratory, dinitrogen can be prepared by what? Just by reacting aqueous ammonium chloride with the sodium nitrite, aqueous sodium nitrite salt. You will get nitrogen, sodium chloride as a byproduct along with the water. Okay. Just balance the equation. Just multiply here. 4 hydrogens are there. Just multiply here by 2. Okay. It's a completely balanced. So 2 nitrogen here, right? Sodium chloride and remaining 2 H2O. Oxygen also balanced. Hydrogen also balanced. So suppose if they ask you for 2 marks in theory, explain the laboratory method of preparation of nitrogen. You can write this equation. Equation carries 1 marks, explanation carries 1 mark. Simple explanation. Dinitrogen can be prepared in the laboratory by the reaction of aqueous ammonium chloride with the aqueous sodium nitrite solution. Simple. Over. This is laboratory method. Okay. Right. Apart from this, nitrogen can also be prepared by decomposition of ammonium dichromate NH4 twice Cr2O7. Decomposition of ammonium dichromate NH4 twice Cr2O7. Okay, right. See, when this ammonium dichromate NH4 twice Cr2O7 on heating decomposes to liberate our target product nitrogen along with the chromic oxide Cr2O3, and it will also give water as a byproduct. In inorganic chemistry, please remember students, always try to first you write the product, possible product, then balance the equation. See here, chromium to chromium balance, nitrogen to nitrogen balance. Okay, now what about hydrogen? Here about 8, right? And oxygen 7. So multiply here by 4. Hydrogen balance. Now automatically oxygen Cl. 3 plus 4, 7. That is also balance. Very simple. That means by the another method, second method by which you can prepare nitrogen, it is what? By the simple decomposition of ammonium dichromate. I will repeat what it is. Ammonium dichromate. Okay. On decomposing or heating ammonium dichromate, it decomposes to give what? Our nitrogen, right? Okay, along with chromic oxide and water as a byproduct. Very simple. Not only this, you can prepare pure nitrogen. Pure nitrogen means without any impurities, right? That is by using azides. That is by using the azides. What is that method? Using azides. Third, using aldehydes, you can prepare pure nitrogen. Pure nitrogen. Let us see. Pure nitrogen. What is that? See. This will learn using azides means barium azide. BaN3 taken twice on heating. Even sodium azide. So I will tell you, especially you don't know these formulas. Just I will give you your first year knowledge. Barium valency is what? Ba2. Okay. Azide N3 minus. Please try to know. Azide is what? N3 minus. Okay. Now cross multiply the valencies. You write this here. Write this. What will you write? BaN3 whole taken twice. This should be written here. Okay. This is one. Okay. Like this sodium azide. Also Na plus N3 minus. What you will get? Plus minus get cancels. NaN3. This is sodium azide and upper one is barium azide. Okay, for your understanding, just I given you, not necessary, just remember. See, on heating this, it will decompose to metal barium and liberates the hydrogen. Very simple. On decomposition. 3 moles of lead. Like this sodium cyanide NaN3 also decomposes to form sodium metal and nitrogen gas. Okay, 2Na3, 2Na plus 3. So like this you can prepare pure nitrogen in the where? In the laboratory. Lab method it is another one, that is okay. Ammonium chloride, okay, used with the sodium nitrate on the large scale, but pure nitrogen is prepared by using this azides, either barium azide or sodium azide. I will repeat, barium azide, AZIDE, or sodium azide. But the decomposition of barium azide or sodium azide, we can prepare pure nitrogen gas, and this is very important for 2 marks. So many times repeated in the NCERT theory examination. Okay, and even for CET also it is important, especially barium azide. Okay, right. So that's about methods of preparation. 3 methods of preparation. First, lab method by treating aqueous ammonium chloride with sodium nitrate. Second one, by decomposition of ammonium dichloride. Third one, by the decomposition of respective metal azides, that is barium and sodium azides. Okay. Right. Now this is the laboratory methods of preparation of method of preparation of dynamite. After method of preparation, now let us move on to physical properties. What are the physical properties? Physical properties are not important, but just still I will tell you already. So mainly physical properties, nitrogen it exists, you already know in physical set how, as a diatomic gas, N2 gas. Okay. Since it is a gas, it is insoluble in the water, or very much less soluble in the water. Okay. Right. And see, this dinitrogen undergoes reaction. It is least reactive. It is very least reactive as per chemical properties is concerned. Why it is least reactive? Because I told you in the beginning only, chemical properties. Please students remember, N2 is least reactive. N2 is least reactive. Why? Very important one must know. Because of high bond energy. High bond energy of how much? 946 kilojoules per mole. So what is this bond energy, sir? So you know that nitrogen and nitrogen, they are having triple bond between themselves, because each share 3 electrons from each side and complete in the object. To break this triple bond, we need 946 kilojoules of energy. That's why it is having least chemical properties. If any other properties are there, that is at a high temperature, not at a room temperature. Please remember. Okay, and 1 marks it is also important for theory purpose. Right. Now coming to the fact, the first one, I have found this one, the first chemical property. Okay, this nitrogen reacts with the lithium and magnesium and form respective nitrates. With lithium and magnesium. Nitrogen combines with metals like lithium, okay, at a high temperature. Lithium combines with nitrogen to form lithium nitride, Li3N. Lithium nitride. See, lithium, how do you write? Li plus nitride N3 minus. Please remember, students, azide is different, nitride is different. Azide is N3 minus, that is monovalent, but this nitride is N3 minus, that is trivalent. Okay, Kolkata nitride. Just simply joking, that is nitride N3 minus. So, the cross multiply, what do you get at the base here? Therefore, what is this? Li3N. Remember. Okay, Li3. That's why then lithium nitride. Like this, we go for magnesium. Magnesium also reacts with the dinitrogen and forms at a high temperature. Same magnesium nitride, Mg3N2. How comes simple also? Just write Mg2 plus valency nitride N3 minus. Cross multiply. What do you get? Mg3N2. Like this. At high temperature means generally above 500 Kelvin or 500 degrees Celsius, lithium and magnesium react with the dinitrogen and form respective nitrates. Lithium nitride and magnesium nitride. So lithium nitride and magnesium nitride. Just balance the equation. 6Li plus, that is N2, like this, 3Mg plus M2, Mg3, N2. But these reactions happens at a high temperature, not at a normal room temperature. This is one reaction with the metals like lithium as well as magnesium. Okay. Now coming to next another more important reaction. As I already told you, this is having least chemical properties because of high bond energy. Coming to next second one with ammonia. Okay, so with the hydrogen, sorry, not ammonia, with hydrogen. Nitrogen combines with the hydrogen, that is 3 moles, in the presence of iron as a catalyst and molybdenum oxide as promoter at about 773 Kelvin temperature and range of 200 to 300 atmospheric pressure. This is called Haber's process. It is called Haber's process, industrial method of preparation of ammonia. What you will get here? 210H3. See once again, 1 mole of N2, 3 moles of H2 giving 2 moles of ammonia. And this is highly exothermic reaction. Minus 92.16 kilojoules of heat energy is liberated. See, at temperature 773 Kelvin, not at a normal room temperature. This is industrial method called as what? Haber's process. That only you are going to study next in ammonia. Okay. But next third one, lastly, even nitrogen combines with oxygen. Okay. Nitrogen combines with oxygen above 2000 Kelvin temperature. Remember, it forms 2NO, nitric oxide. Further, this nitric oxide is unstable, combines with oxygen to form nitrogen dioxide, and that nitrogen dioxide is absorbed in water to form nitric acid. That is, we can prepare nitric acid by Ostwald process. Okay, but this particular process, nitrogen combining oxygen above 2000 Kelvin forming nitric oxide, is called Birkeland-Eyde process. Okay, Birkeland-Eyde process, and this is Haber's process. These are important for CET and NEET purpose. But theory, we won't ask you. Theory just for nitrogen, we can remember only preparation of pure nitrogen using azides. Okay, that is barium azide and sodium azide. And 1 mark I am repeating. Sodium, this nitrogen, dinitrogen is least reactive. Why? Because of high bond energy. It becomes triple bond. To break the triple bond, we need a high energy of 946 kilojoules per mole. That's why it is chemically inert or least reactive compared to other elements of the group. then lastly, after understanding physical properties and these very least chemical properties, now, so what are the uses? Where we can use this dinitrogen? Mainly this dinitrogen in the liquid state, liquid nitrogen is used for so many important cryosurgery in application. Cryosurgery, very important use or application of dinitrogen in liquid state. That is a liquid nitrogen temperature, just I told you, that is 77.2 Kelvin. That is a minus degree Celsius. Cryosurgery. So what is cryosurgery? See, carrying out handwork at low temperature. Why a low temperature? Because generally you have to make it act as their inert atmosphere, so that bacterial action should not be there on the human parts. While carrying out surgery, this is used. Cryo means low, surgery means handwork. That means handwork carried out at a low temperature. There N2 act as inert gas. Okay, and also this dinitrogen, it is combines with hydrogen to form important compounds like ammonia and nitric acid by reverse process and by Bergland-Eyde process. Okay. Right. These are some just very few application I told you. It is having so many applications. Just for theory purpose you can remember 2 to 3 applications. That means I covered now what? Method of preparation, physical properties, chemical properties, and just 2 important application of this dinitrogen. Okay. That is especially this cryosurgery. Please try to remember this is especially important for CET purpose. What do you mean by cryosurgery? Carrying out handwork at a low temperature, that is liquid nitrogen temperature. Just now I told you that will comes out from the distillation flask at about 77.2 Kelvin. That is called liquid nitrogen temperature. Remember. Okay, this completes one compound of the 50 group element, that is dinitrogen. Over. Okay. I think you understood this. Now let us move on to another compound of this 50 group element, that is ammonia. Okay. Ammonia having formula NH3. Right? This ammonia, especially in older days, it was prepared by a very crude method, very rough method. That means as research was not so well developed, generally we will call them in the olden days, in the 18th century, they are called alchemists. These alchemists, they used to prepare this ammonia, or used to prepare ammonia by crude method. They used to extract this ammonia from the what? Important information for CET purpose, hoops, okay, horns and nails. Remember, hoops, horns and nails. Hoops, horns and nails. Hoops means just in especially, just I will give the animal name and then you know, cow, camel and horse. See, cow, camel and horse, they are having especially legs, below the legs, okay, they are having some limbs. Those limbs are called as what? Hooves. Then horns, khodagal, okay, then nails, that you already know, nails. They used to collect all these, and by fractional distillation they are used to just extract ammonia. That is by using what? Cow, camel and horse. This was a very crude method which was used in the year 18th century. But later, this is also extracted from urea. Okay, that is from urea. Method of preparation and then from urea. See, urea having formula NH2CONH2 or CONH2 taken twice is the formula of urea. This urea, when it is dissolved in water, okay, first it forms ammonium carbonate. NH4 twice CO3, ammonium carbonate. Balance the equation, 1 multiplying 2. This ammonium carbonate further decomposes. Ammonium carbonate, NH4 twice CO3, further decomposes to form ammonia NH3 carbon dioxide CO2, okay, and even that is water H2O. So 2NH3, right, hydrogen balance, and even the oxygen also compulsory balance. Like this, in the later years, see, from the urea, first urea dissolves in water to form ammonium carbonate. Ammonium carbonate on decomposing gives ammonia, carbon dioxide and water. So like this was another method of preparation of urea. Method of preparation of ammonia from the urea. Later, second method, another method from the salts from ammonium salts. From ammonium salts, how it is prepared. Okay, method of preparation from ammonium salts. From ammonium salts also, this can be written. How simple. If you take ammonium chloride and treat with a weak base calcium hydroxide, and if you take ammonium sulfate, okay, and treat with a strong base sodium hydroxide, by this also we can liberate ammonia. This is second method of preparation. First method from urea. First, dissolving urea in water to form ammonium carbonate. Ammonium carbonate further decomposing to urea, carbon dioxide and water. Simple, right? But second method from ammonium salts. So these are acidic salts actually. Ammonium chloride is formed by ammonium hydroxide and hydrochloric acid. Ammonium sulfate by the reaction of ammonium hydroxide and sulfuric acid. These are acidic salts. These acidic salts react with the bases and form this ammonia. Okay, let us see how. See here, ammonium chloride reacts with calcium hydroxide, weak base, and gets our target product ammonia. Along with ammonia, it forms calcium chloride, CaCl2, CaCl2 plus, that is H2. To balance the equation, that is 2NH3, right? And this is 2NH4Cl because chlorine are 2. Now totally that is this is the balanced equation. So 2NH3 plus CaCl2 plus H2O, right? Okay, this is the balanced equation. Okay, for oxygen, sorry, just have to multiply by. Okay, that is 2, 4, and here. Okay, now it's balanced equation. Like this ammonium sulfate with sodium hydroxide, strong base, right? It will form 3 mole target ammonia, right? 2 moles plus it will form directly sodium sulfate and Na2SO along with 2 more H2, right? 2NH3, 2NOH plus H2. So that's about the balancing of the equation. 2NH3 and the oxygen 2H2O. Oxygen is also balanced and even hydrogen is also balanced. See, that means by using acidic ammonium salts, ammonium chloride and ammonium sulfate, when we treat with a weak base like calcium hydroxide and strong base like sodium hydroxide, and it is caustic soda, okay, we can liberate ammonia. This is another alternate method, right? That means first one using urea, second one using the ammonium salts. Now coming to next, very important thing, these are not so important. Third one, which is important, liberation of ammonia by using Haber's process. This I will tell you in detail. Preparation of ammonia using Haber's process. Haber's process. This is compulsory question in theory, okay, for 2 marks. Physicochemical principles involved, or for including that flowchart diagram, 3 marks, right? Okay, let us see. You already know Haber's process. Nitrogen combines 1 mole of nitrogen, gaseous nitrogen combines with 3 moles of of ammonia and it is highly exothermic reaction. Delta H is minus 92.16 kilojoules per mole. Okay, this is actually forward reaction. Forward reaction is associated with what? Decreasing number of moles. Because here you see 1 plus 3, number of moles of reactant is 4, but product here is 6. Right. When telling this fact means for CET purpose and for NEET purpose, one compulsory question, definitely. See here, just I will tell you how they may ask you. See, in the last year you used to require one of the important principles called as what? Lee-Chatelius principle. Lee-Chatelius principle. So what is this Lee-Chatelius principle? See, in equilibrium you have studied, in physical equilibrium you have studied. Whenever a system at equilibrium is subjected to stress or strain, means if you are disturbing the equilibrium either by using temperature, pressure or concentration or anything another factors. See, the equilibrium will adjust in such a way as to nullify the effect of stress. That means there is no any effect of what? The stress, either temperature, pressure or concentration on position of equilibrium. It will maintain. How? By either by shifting forward or backward. That is called Lee-Chatelius principle. Okay. Now initially, according to Lee-Chatelius principle, what are the available conditions? It's a very, very important for CET purpose. According to Lee-Chatelius principle. According to Lee-Chatelius principle. Okay. See, low temperature and high pressure. Low temperature and high pressure. Low temperature and high pressure favors formation of ammonia. Formation of ammonia. So how, sir? Let us tell you. Why only low, why not high? And here also, why only high pressure, why not low pressure? Just I will give you the last year equilibrium knowledge. Okay? See here. It's not necessary to write for theory, just I am for your need purpose, I am telling you in detail. See, if you take above reaction, you know that N2 gas, 3H2 gas and giving 2NH3. It's a reversible reaction, remember. You can write it also above reversible. Now, delta H minus 92.16 kilojoules. See, this is equilibrium now, initial condition. So when delta H is negative, you know that it is exothermic. Then forward reaction is exothermic. Forward reaction is exothermic, in which heat is liberated. Then according to Lee-Chatelius principle, backward reaction should be what? Endothermic. Backward reaction should be endothermic. And repeat, forward is exo, according to Lee-Chatelius principle, backward should be endothermic. In exothermic, heat is liberated to the surrounding temperature increases. Remember, forward is associated with the heat liberation, surrounding temperature more. But backward is associated with what? Low temperature, because heat is absorbed, endothermic. This is initial condition of equilibrium. Initial condition. But when you increase temperature of this equilibrium, now it is effect of temperature. If you increase temperature on the position of this equilibrium, system tends to decrease temperature. See, when you increase temperature, always system works in opposite direction. It will tend to decrease temperature. How, sir? By shifting the equilibrium, this equilibrium in that direction where temperature decreases. Which side temperature decreases? Where heat absorption takes place. Simple. So, at a high temperature, backward reaction is favored. So, what is backward reaction here, students? Decomposition of ammonia to N2 and H2. Whether it is favoring formation of ammonia at high temperature? No, this is not favoring. Got it? Okay. Now, if you decrease temperature on this equilibrium, then system tends to increase it. Always it will work in the opposite direction. How, sir? By shifting equilibrium in that direction where temperature increases. Which side temperature increases? Where the heat is liberated. Okay, which side? Forward. So low temperature favors formation of ammonia. Remember students, in explaining effect of temperature, this nature is very, very important. If it is negative, exothermic, positive, endothermic. Please point to be noted. Okay, compulsory possibility. That's why I am telling in detail. But in theory, no need to write. Just write this one word and go. Okay, go forward. Now, what is the effect of pressure? Now, to explain the effect of pressure, you have to forget regarding exo or endo. Only write this reaction. Because effect of temperature is explained on basis of what? Number of moles. Remember, number of moles N is directly proportional to B. As number of moles increases, pressure increases. As number of moles decreases, pressure decreases. Now you see, forward reaction number of moles is 2. Backward reaction number of moles is 1 plus 3, that is 4. Okay, that is initial condition. Now, if you increase the pressure on this equilibrium, system tends to decrease the pressure. When the pressure decreases, when number of moles decreases. Which side number of moles is decreasing? Forward side. So, at high pressure, forward reaction is favored. Means formation of ammonia is favored at high pressure. Simple. Now, sir, what about low pressure? If you decrease pressure, system tends to increase pressure. How? By shifting equilibrium in that direction where number of moles increases. See, if the number of moles increases, automatically pressure also increases. Right? So, at low pressure, backward reaction is favored. What is backward? Decomposition of ammonia. That's why, please remember students, this part compulsory have to write. Low temperature and high pressure favors formation of ammonia according to Catalia's principle. But still, there was technical problem during production in the chemical plant. What is that, sir? Sometimes at low temperature, the rate of reaction almost stops. And at high pressure, there is a chance of exploding the whole production plant. To overcome this, that is techniques or what we call it as difficulties. Okay. So optimum conditions are. So what are the optimum conditions? The optimum conditions for formation of ammonia, or they are called physico-chemical principles for the formation of ammonia. First one, optimum temperature. Optimum temperature of 700 Kelvin, or you can also write because there is a confusion, 773 Kelvin. But you have to go according to your NCERT textbook. That's why I am writing both. Okay. In some books 773 given, even in your NCERT textbook they are given 700 Kelvin. Right? Optimum temperature. Okay. Then pressure. Pressure of about 200 atmospheres. 200 atmospheres or 200 to 10 raised to 5 pascals. Right? Then third, finely divided ferric oxide as catalyst. Okay, we can also sometimes write it as finely divided iron powder or ferric oxide. These are written according to your NCERT textbook. Okay, for 3 terms. Then even along with this fourth one, molybdenum oxide or aluminium oxide or potassium oxide as a catalytic promoter. Okay, all these what we have to subject them with what? Pure nitrogen, pure hydrogen gas. Okay, along with the pure nitrogen and pure hydrogen gas, we have to maintain and heat them to 700 Kelvin or 773 Kelvin temperature, compress it to 200 atmospheric pressure, and during compression, you have to add finely divided iron oxide as catalyst along with the molybdenum oxide or aluminium oxide or that is potassium oxide as catalytic promoter. So these are the physico-chemical principles involved in the synthesis of ammonia by what? Reverse process. Very, very important. definite question in the 15 group elements in the theory. Just you can observe board papers, you will have this question for 2 marks. With diagram, flowchart diagram 3 marks, without diagram 2 marks. Okay, I take the examination, just have to write only this. According to Leach-Darley principle, low temperature and high pressure favors formation of ammonia, but what was the problem? Technical problem was at low temperature rate of reaction stops and at high pressure production plants explodes. To avoid that, optimum conditions, these are called physico-chemical principles involved in synthesis of ammonia by Haber's process. What are those? Optimum temperature of 700 Kelvin and pressure of 200 atmosphere, finely divided iron acid catalyst or zinc oxide as catalyst, to promote it, to make it catalyst of the catalyst, molybdenum oxide, aluminum oxide or potassium oxide as a catalytic promoter along with the pure nitrogen and hydrogen gases. Okay. Right. After understanding these physico-chemical principles, just students, I will show you what is that flow sheet diagram. No need to explanation, just have to draw the diagram. What is the flow sheet diagram for the preparation or synthesis of ammonia by Haber's process? Let us see. Just I will try to show you in a simple manner. Okay. Okay, after this, just you have to take in a compressor. Okay, students, just I told you the physico-chemical principles involved in the synthesis of ammonia by Haber's process. Okay, if they ask you, just if they ask you with the flow sheet diagram, you have to draw this. Okay, so what is just I will explain here. First, see here. So to take 1 volume of nitrogen gas and 3 volumes of hydrogen, pure hydrogen from the atmosphere, from the vacuum bubble. Pass this, okay, to the compressor first. Where they are compressed to how much? 200 atmosphere. I told you 200 atmosphere, 200 to 300 atmospheric pressure. When they mix up, right, they will come outside here and then they are fed into catalytic converter. Where we are packing this with the finely divided, okay, iron or Fe2O3 powder along with the catalytic promoter molybdenum oxide O3 molybdenum oxide as promoter, right? And this is heated up to how much? 700 Kelvin temperature, 700 or 773, where nitrogen and hydrogen combines and forms ammonia. This liberated ammonia first it is in gaseous state, okay, then it is passed through, what are these? They are called cooling pipes, where it is cooled how much? Minus 33.3 degrees Celsius, very low temperature. Then it converted into liquid ammonia and is kept here. If any undecomposed gases, nitrogen and hydrogen are remaining, they are once again recycled back. They are recycled back to a vacuum pump, and when they are once again they are mixed with the fresh gases. Like this, until unless all nitrogen and hydrogen is converted into ammonia, and to carry out this process. Okay, no need to explain, just have to draw this flow sheet diagram. Just remember first, passing of nitrogen and hydrogen, compressor, catalytic converter, okay, then cooling pipes, then once again back to vacuum pump. Right? So like this, just have to explain for 3 marks Haber's process, synthesis of ammonia by Haber's process, which is very important for theory. Even for CET and NEET also I told you principles, that is Le-Chatelier principle what I told you, low temperature and high pressure favors formation of ammonia, remember. Okay? Right. Now after this large scale production using Haber's process, industrial method it is, okay? Industrial method. Now we will go for next, what are its physical properties and chemical properties. Okay, after, so this diagram you can have in the NCERT textbook, strictly follow NCERT textbook only, not other textbooks, okay, or theory purpose. Here for NEET also you have to follow NCERT textbook word by word. Right. Now coming to physical and chemical properties. Physical and chemical properties. See, in physical and chemical properties, remember, this ammonia, you know that it is first liberated as gas, but on compressing, on cooling to minus 33.3 degrees Celsius, it is in the form of liquid state. And this liquid state, 20% to 40% aqueous solution of ammonia is called liquor ammonia. Liquor, L-I-Q-U-O-R, liquor ammonia. And this is when just diluted with water, it is become ammonium hydroxide. And this is used as strong base in the laboratory. And for our all inorganic qualitative analysis, I think in first year you studied, okay, that is inorganic qualitative analysis, semi-micro inorganic qualitative analysis of the salts containing one acid radical and one basic radical. It is used to detect the basic radical, okay, that is bottle number 6 here used, ammonium hydroxide. It is used as strong base in the inorganic semi-micro qualitative analysis. And very another important property is called, it is having high vapor pressure. High vapor pressure. So why is it having high vapor pressure? Because they have cooled it to minus 33.3 degrees Celsius. Right? High vapor pressure means low volume liquids. Remember. Okay? That's why before opening the bottles of ammonia, the ammonia bottles should be first, they are kept under running tap water or in a vessels containing water. Leave them for 10 to 15 minutes so that vapor pressure build up inside the bottle can be released. Right? Then slowly open it. Right? Okay. Now next, this ammonia is having a lone pair of electrons on the nitrogen atom. It acts as Lewis base. It acts as Lewis base. And it is in ammonia, you know that NH3. These are associated through intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Like this, these are associated with the intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Because of this intermolecular hydrogen bonding, ammonia is having high boiling point. High boiling point because of intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Remember. Okay. These are the very unique characters of what we call it as physical properties of the ammonia. Remember. Okay. Right. Now let us moving on to chemical properties. This liquor ammonia is having also very less chemical properties, but mainly used in that as reduction of basic radical as well as some cations in the form of complexes. Let us see one by one. First one, regarding the reaction solubility, whether it is soluble in water or not. Very simple. It's liquor ammonia, that is NH3, okay, highly soluble in water, dissolves in water to form ammonium hydroxide, NH4OH. But this you can write it as NH4 plus and OH minus. That means this ammonia and the water dissociate against plus OH minus. See, water donates a proton to ammonia. Okay, so here water is a Lewis acid and this is a Lewis base, right? So this is acid 1, okay, and this is base 1. This will donate now in the back reaction. It will once again form NH3. This is acid 2, and this is base 2. Like this. So it will act as ammonia and act as what? Lewis base. Electron paired now. And water is it is according to Bronsted-Lewis theory. It is proton acceptor. Okay, the Lewis base, and proton donor is a Lewis acid. Okay, this is one carbon. That means just no need to show this. Just you can write only this one. It is highly soluble in water to form. That is what weak base ammonium hydroxide dissociate in aqueous solution to form NH4 plus aqueous and OH minus aqueous, which is reversible. Okay. Right. Next, regarding acidic character. Acidic character. Show that it is acidic in nature. See, basic character. It reacts with acids. It reacts with acids like HCl and form neutral salt NH4Cl. That means ammonia reacts with hydrogen chloride gas and form a salt ammonium chloride, neutral salt, or ammonium chloride vapors. Remember. Okay, not only this, even ammonia reacts with the sulfuric acid H2SO4 and forms ammonium sulfate NH4 twice SO4. Okay, right, NH4 twice SO4. Like this will dissolve. It is readily reacts with the acids to form respective salt solution, showing that it is acidic in the, it is basic in the nature because it is neutralizing acid. Okay, not only this solubility and acidic properties, even in the laboratory it is used to detect the basic reaction. One of the important application of ammonia as a strong base. See, naturally I am going to tell you as a strong base. As a base. As a base in organic, semi-micro, qualitative analysis. It is used to detect the basic radicals. It is used to detect the basic radical. Let us see the example. If you take ferric chloride, FeCl3, okay, and add ammonium hydroxide, NH4OH, what you will get? So you will get ferric hydroxide PPP, okay, and it's reddish brown PP. Plus what you will get? Ammonium chloride, NH4Cl. That's it. Not only this, even with the zinc chloride or zinc sulfate, that is ammonium hydroxide. It is used to come in the fourth group. You will get zinc hydroxide, ZnOH taken twice, okay, while PPP along with the ammonium sulfate, NH4 twice SO4. Okay. Like this, in inorganic qualitative analysis, the third group iron, fourth group zinc, we can precipitate them as a respective hydroxide. It is from PPP and this is a white. That means they are used to detect ferric ions, Fe3 plus and Zn2 plus ions in the inorganic qualitative analysis as a normal weak base. But not only this, even they act as Lewis base and they can form complex compound. Even in the form of forming complex salts also they are used to detect copper as well as silver. So what are these? Let us see first thing. See. Generally, I told you copper as well as silver, right? Okay. Copper ions from copper sulfate in aqueous reacts with ammonia. Here, it acts as ligand and forms not only ligand, even Lewis base also. CuNS3,4,2+. Okay, what you will get? BuPpt. Intense blue color. Okay, after adding ammonia, here it acts as Lewis base because electron pair donor, but also forming complex compound. Right? In terms of complex salts, also it is used to detect what? Radicals like copper 2+ and even silver. Ag plus aqueous. Okay, with Cl minus, it forms first AgC, and this AgCl aqueous. Okay, AgCl aqueous reacts with 2 moles of ammonia. Okay, 2 moles of ammonia and forms AgNH3 twice C. Disilver amine salt. Okay, so like this, it will form a complex. That means you can detect copper 2+ and silver plus ion in the form of even complex salts. And this character shows not only formation of the complex salts, they are acted as ligand. Ligand is always Lewis base. Remember, it may be neutral molecule, but may be negative charge or positive charge that we are going to study in coordination compounds. Here ammonia is a neutral ligand because it does not carry any charge, positive or negative. It is just containing lone pair of electrons. Here it acts as Lewis base. Electron pair donor is Lewis base, and also giving you what? Ligand character by forming what? That means copper is a central metal attached by ammonia. Ammonia neutral ligand through what? Coordinate bond. That's why this type of salts are called complex salts or coordination compounds. That means by forming complex salts also we can detect metals like copper as well as silver. Okay, very important. So many times repeated for 2 marks theory as well as for CET. The intense color, already know that copper is blue color, but intensity of the color is due to increase in color is due to cyprammonium ion, and here silver diamine chloride. Like this, by forming complex salts also they are used to detect copper ions and silver ions in inorganic qualitative analysis, and even by using weak base they are used to detect basic group radicals, that is like ferric ions Fe3+ and zinc ions Zn2+, which is a very important application of ammonia in the form of ammonium hydroxide, also in the ammonia state, also as a liquor ammonia in the laboratory. This completes chemical properties of ammonia. And already I told you this ammonia, if they ask you uses, it is used as very importantly base, common base in inorganic qualitative analysis to detect iron as well as zinc, and also in the form of complex salts as copper and silver ions. And this ammonia, it is also used especially because of its high vapor pressure, which has a cooling agent. It is used to even freeze, anti-freeze agent. Even it is used to freezing agent for ice itself. In the ice, that is what industry. Ice already you know it is very cool below 0 degrees Celsius, but even it is used it as a coolant even for ice in the ice factory. Okay, right. So like this, are the 2 important applications of ammonia. That means it is used as freezing agent even for ice. That much cooling effect it will have. Why? Because of high vapor pressure. As I already told you in the preparation part, it is cooled to -33.3 degrees Celsius. Because of this, it is used as freezing agent even for what? All products, right? All the food products what we use for storing purpose. Not in this, even for ice factory also it is used. Okay. That's the applications of important 2 applications of ammonia, physical properties, chemical properties, and very importantly, synthesis of ammonia by Haber's process I told you, which is a pakka question, 100% question for theory for 2 or 3 months. Okay, students? Right. Now, just lastly, I will try to complete according to your now deleted syllabus. Oxides of nitrogen is remaining. Okay? Okay. In oxides of nitrogen, just they have deleted structures. Only what are those and how they are prepared along with the properties. Just I will finish it. First one, oxides of nitrogen. See, first one, N2O, nitrous oxide. Okay, nitrous oxide, where oxidation state is +1. Oxidation state is what? +1. Okay. How it is prepared? It is prepared by just heating ammonium nitrate. Ammonium nitrate on decomposing gives N2 and 2+2O, and it is colorless. Okay, that is colorless neutral gas. Colorless neutral gas. Okay. Then second one, nitric oxide. You know, nitric oxide. Here oxidation state is +2. How it is prepared? Just by treating ferrous sulfate, okay, with in acidic medium with sodium nitride. H sodium nitride, you can get ferrous sulfate is oxidized to ferric sulfate. Okay, then you will get sodium bisulfate 2NaHSO4 plus 2NO plus 2H2O. Like this is liberated by just treating with a ferrous sulfate in acidic medium. Okay, this is preparation part. But what about the nature? It is also colorless gas, and it is also neutral. Neutral is the nature. See, N2O is called, this is also called as laughing gas. Remember, laughing gas. N2O. Why it is called laughing gas? Because when we inhale this, it will activate our nervous system, and till the concentration of N2O decreases, we will go on laughing. Right? That's why don't try this in the home, because it is generally we won't get it, because in DRDO they will have a different formula for this. But this is how you can prepare this nitrogen nitric oxide by using the, sorry, I have not written here, extremely sorry, it is N2O plus 2H. Okay, now it is a balance. Not nitrogen, it is a nitrous oxide, N2O, and this is yellow. Okay, sorry, here it is yellow. Okay, now coming to the next third one. After nitrous oxide, which is called laughing gas, nitric oxide, and third one is N2O3, dinitrogen trioxide. Dinitrogen trioxide. Okay, what it is? Oxidation state here +3, because 2x minus 6, so +3. How we can prepare this? Preparation method is very simple. Nitric oxide, say, plus N2O4, dinitrogen tetroxide. Then they are cooled. When they are cooled to 250 Kelvin, very low temperature. Now we can prepare 2N2O3. So 2NO plus N2O4 gives 2N2O3. But this is very, very straight. It's a blue color solid. It is blue color solid. And here N2O3. This is also, this is acidic. Because as oxidation number increases, the acidic character increases. Only neutral one is N2O and N, because they are having lower oxidation states. Right? Very important for seeing and theory purpose. That's why I am telling you. Then after N2O3, now it's a turn of NO2, nitrogen dioxide. Nitrogen dioxide. For nitrogen dioxide, students, it is +4 oxidation state. And this nitrogen dioxide is prepared by decomposing lead nitrate, PbNO3 taken twice on heating. Okay, gives 2 PbO, lead oxide, nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen. Please read. Just multiply. Here 4NO. And here this is a reddish brown gas. reddish brown gas, but it is also acidic in the nature. Acidic in the nature. Then fifth one, N2O4, dinitrogen tetroxide. Dinitrogen tetroxide. Okay, tetroxide plus folding also. But here this is prepared by just taking nitrogen dioxide by using this. Okay, that's why it's PbO. Once again heating in a closed tube. Both are interfermentable, we can make it to N2O4. Right? So this is how the reversible process, and here it is colorless. It is also solid. Okay, and this is how we can make it up to heating it to 673 Kelvin. Right? And lastly, students, that is N2O5, dinitrogen pentoxide. It is what? Pentoxide plus pi oxidation state. Here you can prepare it by using generally hypophosphoric acid, okay, with hypophosphoric nitric acid with the phosphorus pentoxide. If you treat it, you will get or target N2O5, right? N2O5 plus 2HDO3. It is called metaphosphoric acid, and this is also colorless, that is gas. But this will get converted into solid form in dimer form. Okay, that is N4O10, but this is N2O5. It is also a colorless gas, but this is also acidic. And this is also acidic. Okay. So like this, you will have oxides of nitrogen. For 3 purpose, compulsory you have to remember this, and even for CET oxidation states, need purpose. Okay, that's this physical state is important. Blue solid, only one it is in blue colored solid, N2O3, that is called as dinitrogen trioxide. Then preparation is important. We will ask you this for 2 marks for 3 purpose. Even N2O4, this one. Okay, colorless solid, this is acidic. Neutral gases are what? N2O and nitrous oxide, laughing gas, nitric oxide, that is usually no common name given, it is nitric oxide. But rest of the N2O3, N2O2, N2O4, say as the oxidation number increases, acidic character increases because nitrogen is non-neutral. So this completes, today I completed what? That is preparation of dinitrogen. There you have to read only azides. Then preparation of ammonia by Haber's process, very important for theory purpose. Okay, read it out. Then with the diagram 3 marks, without diagram 2 marks. Right? Then oxides of nitrogen. So 1 marks question they will ask you with the theory purpose, especially first and second, as well as N2O3 third. But for CET purpose, this nature and physical state is very important, and the color. Reddish brown gas, NO2, blue colored solid, N2O3, colorless solid, that is both N2O4 and N2O5. But with the higher, you can also get changes on dimerization to solid state also. Okay? So that's about the all in detail information regarding feed group element. That means you have completed today nitrogen, ammonia, okay, and oxides of nitrogen. Tomorrow class I will complete nitric acid. Okay, right. Thank you. Have a nice day.